Right, now we're going to take a look at the final exercise, exercise number 3 in section 5. Okay, we're going to start this final exercise on the 19th fret on the high E string, and we're going to pull off to 15, and then we're going to hammer on 17 on the B. Then we've got 15 on the high E, 17 on the B, 16 on the G. So we've got... Then we've got 17 on the B, 16 slide down to 12 on the G. Then we've got 16 pull off to 12 on the G, and then 14 on the D. So... Then after that we've got 12, 16 on the G, 12, 15, 12 on the high E, 16 on the G, 12 on the high E, then we've got 16, 12 on the G, then 16, 12 again on the G, and then 14 on the D. So we've got... Then we're going to have... Okay, so that's going to be the next bit. You've got 14 to 10 on the A, 12 on the low E, then you've got 10 to 14 on the A. Then you've got 12, 16, 12 on the G, 14 on the D, 12, 16 on the G. Then you've got 15 on the high E, then 19 to 15 on the high E, 17 on the B. Then you've got 15 on the high E, 17 on the B, 16 on the G. So far we've got this. Then we've got 19, 15 to 14, then 17, 14 to 12 on the high E string. Then we're going to be doing that same pattern again, but we're going to do it in a major context rather than a minor context. So it's going to look like this at a slow tempo. Okay, so it's 15, 12 on the high E, 13 on the B, 12 on the high E, 13 on the B, 12 on the G. So 13 on the B, 12, slide down to 9 on the G. Then we've got 12, pull off to 9 on the G, and then 10 on the D. So we've got... Then we've got 9, 12 on the G. Skip over the B string, and then we've got 8, 12, 8, 12, 8, 12, 9, and then so finishing on 10 on the D. So hopefully you can see there's a correlation between the minor sequence and the major sequence. You're doing exactly the same thing, you're just changing a few of the notes to make it sound a bit happier, if you like. So the great thing about this as well is why it works so well is basically because it is using the same pattern all the time. You're just shifting. I think for me personally it makes it a lot easier to keep these runs going and going because you're literally using the same concepts, you're just changing them. I always try and get people to see it like that so they're not kind of really daunted by playing these long passages. I mean technically it's a challenge as well and physically, but the kind of mindset behind what you're doing should be fairly simple. Otherwise, if that's really complicated, then you think the lick's really complicated. You're kind of just going to lose your way a little bit. So, yeah, basically that's the two sections together, slow, should look like this so far. Then we're as far as doing the same thing again, but major this time. We've got 10 to 7 on the A string, then 8 on the low E, then up again. We've got 9 on the G, 12, 9 on the G, 10, 9 to 12 on the G, so then 12 on the high E, 15, 12, then 13 on the B, 12, 13, 12, like that. Then we're going to do, so 15, 12, slide down to 10 on the high E, 14, 10, slide down to 8. Then we're going to do the minor thing again, exactly the same thing as what we did in E minor, but now we're in A minor. So we're going to have so that ending bit is slightly different because we're not going to do slide down sort of 3 times like we did before. I'm going to slide back up again because then we're in another arpeggio situation there. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's a bit more of a stretch in A minor than it is in E minor, but it's exactly the same pattern. So let's just go through the notes on that then. It's 12 to 8 on the high E, 10 on the B, 8, 10, 9 on the G, then we've got 10, 9, slide down to 5, then 9 to 5 on the G, then 7 on the D. Then we've got 5 to 9 on the G, skip over the B, then we've got 5 to 8, back to 5 on the high E, 9 on the G, 5 on the high E, 9, 5 on the G, then again, and then 7 on the D. So, then this is kind of where it gets the most tricky for the left hand. We've got 7 down to 3 on the A, and then 5 on the low E, then back up. Skip over the D, then we've got 5 on the G, then repeat that in the next octave, so it's 9 to 5 on the G, 7 on the D, 5 up to 9, then 8 on the high E, 12, pull off to 8 on the high E, 10 on the B, 8 on the high E, then you've got 10 on the B, 9 on the G, then 12, pull off to 8, slide to 7, then you've got 10, pull off to 7, slide up to 8. So that arpeggio slow. So far at a slow tempo, this is what we should have. Then we've got so that's 12 to 8 on the high E, 12 on the G, 8, 12, 9, so so 12, 8, 12, 8, 12, 9, 12, 9, 10, 9, 12, then 8, like that. That's the pattern. Then you're going to move up 2 frets and do exactly the same thing again. So and then bend 15 up on the B string up a whole step. Okay, so a slow tempo, that whole last exercise should sound like this. Okay, well that concludes section number 5. There's a ton of stuff to get through on that. It's probably one of the most difficult techniques to synchronise yourself and really get right. So you'll probably just have to, break everything down slow and just maybe do a couple of the shapes, get used to that, and then kind of add more and more shapes in, and then build yourself up to doing the exercises from start to finish. Then, you should really start to see some results.